Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, where I'm going to be taking on the Golbez Clad in Darkness Part 14 Level 180 Lost Chapter quest, and for this I'm bringing along a team of Golbez, Rosa and Warrior of Light, with a Setsa friend support and Shiva as a summon. So Golbez's Lost Chapter is here. Big Daddy Damage has finally got his EX+, and although he hasn't got a rework to his skills, he does actually receive quite a number of substantial upgrades with his EX weapon that actually make him quite powerful this time around. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're looking at the screen and you're thinking, Krentz, why is your Golbez purple? What did you do? And it's true, I have been on a string of realizations recently, as questionable a term as that is, in my opinion, it's really not my favourite word, but I did say that I was saving up bucks and ingots for this very reason, and lo and behold, I do indeed have a string of favourites coming up, be they favourites in the FF franchise or favourites in this game. I've got Sephiroth, I've got Eiko, I've got Golbez, I've got Zack coming up, I've got Aranea, even though I've not played Final Fantasy 15, so I don't have that much attachment to her character. She's still a global first character, so she's still going straight to Purple Town, believe you me. I am actually re-evaluating whether I want to pull on King or not, and I'm considering skipping out on Ignis as well, just because I'm realising so many people and I'm throwing so many resources around. I'm just kind of like, well, do I really need them? You know, I mean, King might be better in this or that situation, but I mean, Aranea is probably a ranged DPS as well. If King ends up better than Aranea, it'll be such a kick in the teeth. I really hope that's not the case. I hope she has some pretty hype mechanics. But yeah, Golbez came around, and he wasn't originally a favourite of mine, but I really warmed up to him, to be honest. So, Final Fantasy IV, when it initially came out, well, to be honest, when it initially came out, I was probably a wee lad. You know what I mean? I was a bit too young for Final Fantasy around that sort of time. But when I first played Final Fantasy IV, which I think was through emulation, you know, I will admit my first exposure to the games was through emulation. I have since gone back and acquired them legitimately, of course. But that was I was like 14, and I just finished playing FF9, and I'm like, there's no FF games coming out for ages. I want to go back and see what I've missed, what's in the past, because I've just been introduced to this wonderful series through the PSX trilogy. So I went back and I played FF Chrono Trigger and FF5 and 6 and 4, but I initially wasn't very sold on FF4, and it was mainly because, well, I mean, in part it's because it didn't have such sophisticated gameplay mechanics compared to 5 and 6, or even 3, because a shonky interpretation of the job system is still the job system, and it's still awesome. But not only that, but it has such a revolving door cast of characters, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, suddenly you've got this party member, oh no, sorry, you don't have them anymore, oh, but then you've got this person, oh no, they're dead, oh, and that person came back, and it's like, no, just stop. I want to have a core cast of characters that I focus on. Like, I'm like that in every game that gives you a selection of party members. I'll have like 3 characters at level 50, and the rest of them will just be languishing in the shadows like for the rest of the game, unless I got forced to use them due to plot sequences. And that's kind of how I work in Opera Omnia as well. I much prefer to focus on characters that I like using and characters that are my favourites, rather than just kind of throw resources at everyone and end up with a bunch of like average characters, you know. Even though I am actually giving out bucks and ingots like they're going out of fashion this month, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, it wasn't actually until the FF4 DS version of the game that I actually started to really understand what it was about this game that so many people kind of liked. And I was like, oh, you know, I mean, you give it a fresh lick of paint, you give it some 3D graphics and some voice acting, even though they're kind of DS version 3D graphics, you know what I mean, it's still better than nothing. I actually have no problem with sprite graphics. In fact, the PSP versions probably look better in some cases, but what I mean is it had more sort of up-to-date gameplay mechanics as well. Like, you had the augment system, like when your party members left, they left behind augments, and that gave you some sort of, you know, some just sort of reward in a gameplay sense for them leaving, and not just, we're gonna steal your best mage and you can't ever have them back. So that was a lot better, and I think the main thing that grabbed me about that game was the difficulty, because obviously in the West we only really got a version of FF4 that was based off of FF4 Easy Type that was released in Japan, because Dark Cecil didn't even have his darkness ability on the Western release on the SNES, which is the same as Easy Type. And yeah, that always seemed kind of strange to me. As soon as I learned that he had it, I'm like, well, why the hell don't we have that? So the DS version was much superior to me, and to be honest, the Final Fantasy series is kind of easy, you know what I mean? Like, most of the games are easy, most of the time. So the fact that FF4 DS was actually quite challenging, like the CPU boss battle in the Giant of Babel was an absolute nightmare. And some of the random encounters in that place could friggin' wreck your shit as well if you weren't careful. So it was really really enjoyable for me. I mean, you know me playing these chaos quests, so I like a certain bit of challenge with my games. So that definitely got me a lot more engaged. And Golbez, what can I say about Golbez? He's not as iconic to me as Sephiroth is. I know that like for a certain generation of players, he's probably Golbez is probably that generation's Sephiroth, but one thing you can't deny about him is that he's got such an imposing presence. I mean, the dude is massive. Even in Opera Omnia, look at him, he's huge. They don't call him Swolbez for nothing. And every time he's on the screen, you just kind of feel that he's there, you know what I mean? So he definitely leaves an impression. And I really like his voice acting as well, actually, both in the Japanese version and in the Western releases as well. I wasn't actually originally intending to pull for Golbez back when his EX weapon was released, but after using a friend one, I was like, he does so much damage and he looks badass, so I'm just going to throw a few tickets and see what happens. And yeah, the EX weapon happened, and I was like, shit, I guess I'm using Golbez now. And he was fantastic. For like the 2 weeks that he lasted until Rinoa came along and just did everything he did except better and with about 10 times more longevity than he could do it. But the tables have turned. It's now the EX Plus era, and Golbez is actually the better choice this time around because he gets 3 upgrades to his kit that make him much, much better than he was before. First upgrade, he gets a HP Plus attack, so he no longer has to use a crappy old regular HP attack to dump his bravery. He gets a 3-hit brave HP attack. Technically it's 2 + 1 hits because the Shadow Dragon does the last hit, which is very nice. He gets an instant EX cast, and to be honest, instant EX casts are really significant when it comes to longevity, because you've got to think, like, in most characters, if you have to work your way up to the initial cast of the EX skill, it takes less time to recast, like to recharge an EX skill than it does to charge it up the first time. So even though Golbez over here only has 6 uses of both skills, the fact that he starts out with his EX is, is massive for his longevity, because it means he can get back up to using his EX again and again that much faster. And the third big upgrade is that he gets a free skill after his EX. So yeah, that's absolutely massive. This 3 strikes, they just almost completely patched up all the holes in his kit and gave him the longevity that he so desperately needed, because that was his biggest problem. In fact, his damage was still really good. He just didn't last very well in Cosmos. He came in the EX era and he completely kicked everyone's faces in, and then like a couple of weeks later, friggin' Sephiroth came out and Rinoa came out, and then Cosmos was released, and then Freya was released, the 35 CP legend, absolute goddess that she was at that time, and there was nowhere in the picture for Golbez. I mean, you could make him work if you had enough batteries, you know what I mean, but it wasn't the optimal choice. So I figured because he didn't get enough spotlight back then, and he's still a badass, I would throw him some ingots because I want to use him in Chaos a bit. Even if he's not quite as good as Ultimecia and Emperor, to be honest, I'm going to put him in 3rd place. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Sephiroth as a character, and he's fun to use in this game because I like Sephiroth. But from a mechanics perspective, in terms of damage dealers, I actually prefer Golbez, because with his regular skills, he only deals very slightly less damage than Sephiroth does, but his EX itself is a massive nuke. I'm talking 300k to 300k to 2 enemies style nuke, you know? He just feels that much more impactful, and he is. I've tested him off Synergy. I actually do rate him over Sephiroth, but let's not talk about that. So anyway, this quest is kind of annoying. The first time I played it, I took brothers. It really pains me to take Shiva, because Golbez is crying out for brothers. He wants the max bravery because he's never gonna hit less than all 9s in this quest. But I'm taking Shiva because I'm taking Setzer, and I'm taking Setzer because the last boss has an ability called Bright Ray, which will completely nuke everyone to nothing, reduced to cinders. Even with wall shields, you're not surviving dick. Originally, when I ran this quest, I actually had a Golbez friend, and I brought the Golbez friend in on wave 3, and we just completely nuked the mid-boss wave, and the final boss never actually used the Bright Ray skill, so I kind of just got away with it in 77 turns, and I got like a really good score. So I'm probably not even going to get that good of a score this time around, but I tried to record it twice already, and I just ate a Bright Ray both times, and I'm like, I'm not re-recording 20 minutes worth of footage again just because I took a really cheap shot to the face. I mean, literally. The only thing you can do with that is use Rosa's re-raise or fucking Ishtola's revive, you know what I mean? Unless you're using Freeze Joker, which is what I brought Setzer in for, and I brought him in because of Shiva. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I do plan to spam red card because I'm going to delay it as much as possible, and yeah, I just think it's a very good idea. He only uses it, I think, when it's on his 2nd life, because he does revive. but I'm not taking another Bright Ray to the face. So I do actually have triple perfects for Golbez, but because this is Sin, and you are going to want this on him, the Lunarian Descent boost, because it does boost both his max brave and attack, and he wants all the attack he can get. But because his synergy, he's never going to be dropping anything less than 9s everywhere, so the extra max bravery is just, in my opinion, that much more helpful. Meanwhile, my Rosa is sitting over here with these artifacts. To be honest, I think the max bravery is a good choice for her as well. I can't be asked farming another one. Attack's good enough. She wants some attack. I could give her all attack, but that's overkill. And my WoL is still 1 out of 3. He still has his crappy old artifacts, random. Well, they're not crap, but they're just random that I gave him from before. WoL doesn't need more than 1 out of 3. He is here to basically make sure we don't get broken, and you pair him with Rosa, I shit you not, his shield is almost invincible. Like, it's not Zack level of invincible, but it still applies to everyone in the party, and because she gives the initial bravery auras, she'll be making all of WoL's batteries, including his self battery, much more powerful than they would normally be. So yeah, sets us here just as a safety measure against that boss, because I really don't want to be taking freaking 30,000 AoE damage again. So yeah, let's jump into it and see how it goes. Okay, so it kind of hurts to do this, but at the same time, you're dead. You're gone, you're dead and buried. And you're dead. One thing I love about Golbez is how visceral his abilities are, you know, how powerful it feels. You definitely get a sense of, like, you know, I'm doing some major damage whenever you play with Golbez. So I'm just going to Shining Shields over here on C. Virus Needle. What's that? Lowest chance of gaining buffs. Oh, I didn't want any buffs anyway, it's fine. Nemure. Okay. So I am actually going to use all attack here because I use this for overflow, right? The end boss is going to be a single target wave, so it is not really going to be doing much in the way of I'm not going to be needing any overflow, but on this wave, because we're going to be spamming Glare Hand a fair bit, it just seems like a good idea to pop the overflow where I actually need it. 55 max brave, by the way, even with Shiva. I think with brothers it would go to like 61k or something stupid. So that's a cool 110k damage. That was actually 55k to both enemies. He does more damage than you'd expect because he kind of has the thing that Kuja had back in the EX era, where because his damage is spread out over multiple hits, it doesn't look like much, but it's actually quite a lot. So yeah, the last couple of times I played this, I brought my friend Golbez in here for WoL, and we just absolutely nuked the crap out of these two. But gonna have to rely on safety setzer over here. So no double Golbez fun this time, sadly. But it does mean the one Golbez I have has more sort of max bravery. Did I lose my max bravery buff? No, I didn't. I just didn't gain the attack buff. Alright, that's completely fine. Shiny show for you. I think that was either Rosa's EX or it was Golbez's. In fact, I think that's both of their EXs. So yeah, Luminous Arrow for even more overflow. 65. That's so low. I'm not used to using Shiva. That should be like in the 70s. Yeah, hold this meteor. That still hits like a truck. That's so satisfying, man. Yeah, cleanse the dark weakness debuff. It's not as if you're naturally weak to darkness or anything. plus over here. And I'll take my my free glare hand. Oh god. Oh, that's ruinous. Yeah, I don't want to waste skills if I can help it. And these enemies aren't really all that threatening. I do need to pray though, which is also kind of a waste, because we're going to cap out anyway on this next attack. Told you, nothing but 9s everywhere. All the 9s. Roll the goat with his shields coming in clutch as always. Do need to refresh them now this time. Oh, it's nearly time. It's nearly time. Yeah, let's do it. Most damage possible. I'm going to be swapping Golbez out for Setzer anyway. That tickles. Yeah, I'm going to save that for the next wave. Because this wave is most definitely over. So let's throw that over here. So we can do that over here. Excellent. So now it's this thing. The flawless boss. So my first turn I am absolutely going to... How much turns have I got my attack buff left? 7 turns. I'll use Rising Wave. So yeah, I'll just use the free skills from Luminous, whatever it is, Luminous Blast, whatever they call her, EX, I've forgotten the name of it already. I'll just use that on I'll use that on skills this time, just so we get the EX recharged, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'll definitely use Prey here, because we're low on bravery. Let's get that battery. And let's use our throw bucklers while they still deal actual damage. Yeah, why not? So this thing has an irritating habit of both cleansing everyone's, cleansing its own debuffs and also removing everyone else's buffs. But because we have WoL here, it's largely trivial. Just catch these meteors. That never gets old. So that Angelic Aureole is an AoE Dispel on everyone, which definitely sucks the big one. But because we've got wall shields, we don't really actually care about the damage. And we can just reapply our buffs when we need to, but I'm definitely going to reapply Glare Hand here. I don't know why, I don't need more attack. Like, I'm not going to be doing anything less than max damage anyway. Oh yeah, and it also like has a habit of using random bloody bravery HP attacks, which the shields are also very good for preventing. So you see how I've been using skills with Golbez almost every turn, and we still have quite a good amount of them left? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He lasts a surprisingly long time. Oh yeah, I'll absolutely take a launch. No EX yet, so what I'll do is I'll use Dark Enchant, so we get a little bit more bravery gen. Every time. Oh, that feels so satisfying. So for the most part, until the boss revives the second time, it's just kind of a straightforward slog at this point. So I know this is going to be its dispel attack. Oh no, I was wrong. So now it revives. It does the AoE dispel and it gives itself a whole ton of bravery that we don't actually care about because Golbez is here. Yep. We need to reapply everyone's shields soon. It's targeting WoL for now, so I'll use a buckler now. So yeah, this is where it's going to start getting a little bit more dangerous. It gets to around half health here. So homing ray is totally fine. We don't mind that so much. Just trying to keep my eyes on all the buffs here. So this attack might be a problem. I'm not sure, but I don't particularly want to chance it. So I'm going to break it here. And then, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to swap out for Setzer. Go into the summon. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Prismatic Flash. So it is a magic resist boss, but because it's got ice weakness, yeah. Have some of that. I love those sets of launches, man. And yeah, we're just going to spam Shine Shield and summon a bit and get some battery going. So what turns will we end up with here? Yeah, we can do this safely because it will push it back by a turn and we'll get to break it. No problem. So you, my friend, need to eat a freeze joker. Okay, so that's homing ray. And this next one, I think, is going to be the troublesome attack. You know what, I could burn Setzer's turns here and bring Golbez back in. I think I'm just going to give it... Setzer doesn't do bad damage, honestly. But I'm not really about taking chances. Okay, so now it's going to use its big attack. But, in fitting fashion, denied. There. Okay. So slightly more underwhelming compared to my previous runs, but much safer. Okay, so, oh, very clean, not even a single break. So that's going to be my video for the Golbez event. I'm going to say that more than using Golbez here, the combination of Rosa and WoL really makes things a lot easier. If you've got Tifa, she can do work here. If you've got Machina, he's going to be pretty good as well because of all his free turns, and you can use like Battery and Brave Regen. If you've got Sephiroth, he's going to be good as well. Like his EX won't do as much damage single target, but the rest of his skills and Brave Regen makes up for it. You know, there's a lot of good choices here for single target damage. I'm not sure if Cloud would have the longevity for it, but I mean, you could give it a try. You know, who knows? He might do well. But yeah, that's going to be my video for the Golbez event, and I hope everyone enjoyed watching. And until the next time, take care and goodbye.